experiencing success, and perhaps the sadness of saying farewell to high school days. Graduation is important for parents too. It is a dream fulfilled, really, for parents to see their children as graduates. For this evening, all the frustrations, problems, and pressures of day-to-day living with young people are forgotten. It's a time for parental pride and joy. It's so nice to see all our graduating students dressed up and looking their best. It is a proud moment for all of us here tonight. Different from their day-to-day attire. I think some may be a little nervous.
I think that, yeah, you can see it in their eyes. You can see the pride also. Such a great feeling for these graduates. The gymnasium will be filled to capacity again this evening. We always get such a great turnout for our graduations here at Garson-Falconbridge Secondary School.
And the students and staff have put forth a great effort with decorating all of the gymnasium and the stage, which we'll soon be seeing.
Certainly have. They've been spending a lot of time after school, some even before 9 in the morning, getting here early.
And here comes the Garson-Falconbridge Secondary School staff.
It's a proud moment for teachers as well as students. See their students graduating after 4 hard, sometimes 5 years hard work.
This is definitely so. Some, it hasn't been that difficult, but for others it's been a real struggle, and perhaps even a prouder moment for them.
It's a preparation for life.
Now we begin O Canada.
Almighty God, of whose only gift cometh wisdom and understanding, we beseech thee with thy gracious favor to behold our universities, colleges, and schools, that knowledge may be increased among us, and all good learning flourish and abound. Bless all who teach and all who learn, and grant that in humility of heart they may ever look unto thee, who art the fountain of all wisdom, through Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen.
Good evening. Welcome to our 20th commencement graduation and ceremonies. Tonight is a very special and rewarding evening for you, the graduates. It is also an evening full of mixed emotions for all, especially those students and staff leaving Garson-Falconbridge. At this time, I'd like to introduce our stage guests, starting from your left. Mr. Robert Stone, Sudbury Board of Education member. Mr. Fred Stappen, Superintendent, Sudbury Board of Education. Ann Palat, President, Students' Council. Mr. John Spohr, Principal, Garson-Falconbridge. Mrs. Gina Setti, Head of Family Studies. Danelda Cameron, Valedictorian. Mr. Gabe Guzel, Vice Principal. John Kischuk, Outstanding Boy. Pat Thompson, Outstanding Girl. And myself, Brian Baggs, your Master of Ceremonies. Please relax, enjoy yourselves, and share with us the celebration of tonight's occasion. I will now call upon Mr. John Spohr for a few words of welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Baggs. We'll try not to make it too long this evening. I know it's rather warm out there. Our air conditioning broke down again. It happens every year at this time. Members of the Sudbury Board of Education, members of the staff, honored guests, parents, and members of the graduating class of 1984. I'm pleased to see such a fine turnout of parents and graduates for this commencement ceremony. To some of us, the staff, it might seem like old hat because we go through this process year after year. But the excitement returns when one of our own family or somebody very close graduates from high school, college, or university. We, the staff, also marvel at the fact that some of the so-called impossible have graduated. I'm sure some of the parents marvel at it also. We have our own staff graduates. Mrs. Assetti, after 35 years of dedicated service, is graduating into retirement. Mr. Baggs is transferring to Sudbury Secondary School. Mr. Hawking and Mrs. DeVigi are transferring to LaSalle Secondary School. All these schools need help. We're sending people there to help them out. Mrs. Graham is taking a one-year leave of absence, and Mr. Stepanek, Mr. Holmes, and Mr. Remiard are part of the staff loss due to the overall declining enrollment. Graduation, far from being an end, is the beginning of your tomorrows. Over the past several years, you've worked and studied, practiced and played, grown mentally as well as physically. And now you're here, ready to begin your lives as members of the adult community. For some of you, this will mean a job and the responsibilities of family living. For others, this will mean college and further years of study and preparation. Whatever course your future takes, it is my sincere hope that you'll look back on your years here as being preparing you to meet and deal with the challenges that life will present. You have a reputation to uphold, your parents' reputation, your community reputation, and your school's reputation. I know that you won't let us down. On behalf of myself and the staff of Garson-Falconbridge Secondary School, I wish to each and every one of you the happiness of a productive life, the respect of your fellow human beings, and the love of your family. May the future be yours. The best of luck and congratulations to the class of 1984.
Mr. Chairman, Mr. Spohr, platform guests, staff, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, graduating students. I have been asked as a trustee to bring the greetings from the Sudbury Board of Education. It is very warm in here tonight. It's too bad that the air conditioner gave out at this time, but the principal should have notified us. Maybe we could have dug a few holes or something in the wall. Graduating students, I would like to pass on to you the congratulations of the board. This is your evening to celebrate. You have worked hard for it the past 4 or 5 years or whatever, and I think this is your evening. I am not going to speak too much longer. I would just like to pass on the regrets of Mr. Roy, the chairman, Mr. Beanish, the vice chairman, and trustees Mr. Levere and Mr. Kula, who are unable to attend tonight. Well, again, I would like to say congratulations and the very best for the future. Thank you.
Mr. Spohr, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, tonight we're gathered here not only to bid farewell to our graduating students, but to say au revoir to a graduating teacher. Mrs. Assetti began her teaching career in a one-room school with 42 students ranging from grades 1 to 8. With a reader in one hand, mixing spoon in the other, she taught all levels and even took a few minutes out to fire up the wood stove. As the saying goes, you've come a long, long way. After teaching at Lindsay Collegiate, she moved to Sudbury in 1956 and accepted a position at Nickel District Collegiate. Finally, in 1963, Mrs. Assetti was named Department Head of Family Studies at Garson, and it was her duty to set up classrooms and programs for the school. Mrs. Assetti was always interested in quality education, not only for her students, but also for herself. She taught at the College of Education in Toronto, and in 1968 completed her Master's of Education and her Principal Certificate. She is the first and only woman from Northern Ontario to be president of the Ontario Secondary School Teachers Federation, and in 1974 was one of the few women to obtain the Supervisory Officer's Certificate. Who needs women's lib when one can do it in this grand style? As one of her colleagues said, when you've been taught by the best, what else is there to say? I'm proud to present to you Mrs. Jean Assetti.
Mr. Chairman, guests, colleagues, parents, and graduates. First of all, thank you, Mrs. Grabish, for that kind introduction. I opened a Pandora's box about a month ago, and I wasn't certain what would come out. Your introduction could tempt me to be reminiscent about fake measles when I taught art, about trying to haul in a 16-foot Christmas tree to fit in a schoolroom which had a 10-foot ceiling, or stargazing at night before TV became part of one's life, or about quality education in the good old days. But I'm going to resist. For this is a very special occasion, and it is my privilege and an honor for me to address the 1984 graduates of Garson-Falconbridge Secondary School. There is a rule, one of them, which states that the salutation of an address be brief. But there are exceptions to many rules, if I recall my French grammar of many years ago, and also some school rules. And tonight is an exception as we address our guests, my colleagues, and your parents. It is with pleasure that you will remember the guests who are sharing this evening with you. It may take several years to remember with pleasure and to gain a real appreciation of my colleagues, your teachers, for the role they have played in your life. It could take longer, even a couple of decades, to appreciate and understand your parents and their pride tonight. For this is the time that you and they have waited for. It's almost over. This is the day you've looked forward to for some 12, 13, even 14 years. But wait, don't think it's over yet. You have merely scaled another rung on a very long ladder. This is truly a commencement. I speak to you as one who is sat where you sit tonight. 40 years ago, I stood on the same rung of the schooling ladder. These rungs are short and have measurable distance. Elementary school, secondary school, college, university, apprenticeship, night school, summer school. Today, we are both on the same educational ladder. Neither of us has reached the top. Just when we think we have reached it, as many of you may feel tonight, we only have to look up to see that there's yet another step to take. The educational ladder is a long one, for education is the sum total of all our experiences, by which we develop abilities, attitudes, and behaviors of positive value to the society in which we live. Some of you will be reaching for the next rung of schooling. All of you, I hope, will be reaching for the next rung of education. On one occasion, Aristotle, a famous Greek philosopher, was asked how much superior was an educated person to one who was uneducated. As much, said he, as the living to the dead. Aristotle's observations are as true today as they were over 2,000 years ago. Our schooling ends when we choose to end it. Our education ends when we are dead. We can look at the differences in another way. It was Edith Wharton, a noted author, who suggested that there are two ways of spreading light: to be the candle or to be the mirror that reflects it. Today, you merely reflect the lights of others. Your parents and teachers would be proud if you should choose to reflect some of their values, knowledge, and experiences. However, you must strive to move beyond a mere reflection of someone else. An educated person provides himself or herself and society with energy, enjoyment, and enlightenment. You have a great deal to offer now. But you have an opportunity to offer much more as a person who knows and uses the difference between schooling and education. The possibilities are boundless. No longer must an individual be stifled by the traditional expectations of a society which keeps changing. You are limited only by yourselves. Do not be satisfied to merely exist in an oftentimes imperfect world. Know that you have choices to make in careers, in lifestyles, in values. I do not promise that choices will be easily made or readily obtained. I do suggest, however, that not to attempt something because it is difficult is a coward's way out. You have a responsibility to society and to yourselves to make informed choices and act upon those decisions. But be warned, action without knowledge is no better than knowledge without action. Knowledge plus action lead to satisfaction. You may not be successful in everything you attempt. Sir James Barrie, the author of Peter Pan, suggested, the most gladsome thing in the world is that few of us fall very low. The saddest that with such capabilities, we seldom rise high. Do not look down that ladder, except to see that past experiences provide a strong foundation for the future. Look up, reach above you, and take that next step. Tonight, many of you are preparing to leave GFSS, a school, a rung on the schooling ladder, and a good school. Tomorrow, you continue your education, most of which is still before you. Tomorrow, you commence a new phase in your life. I, too, am faced with a similar future as I prepare to leave GFSS and commence a new phase in my life. I'm looking forward to it. I also look forward to meeting you again, you the graduates, in 1988, when we return for the 25th anniversary of our school. In the meantime, let us continue on that educational ladder. And as you climb that sometimes tricky, sometimes slippery ladder, I wish you well. God bless.
On behalf of the graduates and as well as everyone present here this evening, I would like to thank you, Mrs. Setti, for taking the time out and speaking to us. As a token of our appreciation, I would like to present to you these flowers in flat.
See that it's a touching moment for Mrs. Assetti.
While the graduates are lining up, a couple of notes. Would you please withhold your applause until the last one in each group has been presented? And also feel very free to come forward to take pictures of these proud graduates. We have an X marked on stage. We'll hold them for you and you can take your picture. As well, our graduation is being taped and will be aired on Sunday, June 10th at 9 p.m. and again on Wednesday, June the 13th at 4 p.m. on Cable 7.
There are 139 students eligible to receive their Ontario Secondary School graduation diploma. Of these, 42 will now commence to receive their January diploma. These students are required to obtain 27 credits in order to graduate from high school.
Certainly is a credit to the semester system. The fact that some of them graduate in January, not in June, they're able to acquire to get those credits earlier.
That is so, and some have taken advantage of this opportunity to obtain employment, and some even to continue on to post-secondary education.
Yes, and also quite a few of them start taking their grade 13 courses in January. Therefore, able to graduate from grade 13 the following January, and sometimes enter university earlier, and therefore taking advantage of being able to graduate from that institution earlier and get out into the workforce.
The secondary school graduation diploma is granted to students. The secondary school graduation diploma is granted to students who have earned 27 or more credits in specified areas of study. It gives me very great pleasure to introduce to you a group of very special people tonight. A group of people who are determined. A group of people who have set themselves a goal, have worked toward that goal, and who are here tonight with us to be recognized for their achievement. Mr. Guzel will be presenting the diplomas. The first group are graduates who achieved that magic number of 27 credits in January this year. The first student is Betty Billsborough, who plans to return to grade 13 in the fall.
Betty will be our student council president next year.
Did I say something wrong? Did I make a mistake?
She also was an exchange student in Quebec.
Monique Card is planning on working and getting married in August. Mike Donnelly plans to go into business administration at the University of Ottawa.
Mike is one of Garson's most popular students. He was an MC at our Christmas variety show.
Jeff Edmonds plans to attend Cambrian College. Peter Foley plans on either working or returning to school. Sean Hines will be attending Cambrian College as an electronics engineering technologist.
Cambrian is obtaining many of our graduates.
Roxanne Hume will be attending the Ontario Business College. Same picture up there. Maxine Kingsley is returning for grade 13.
Maxine will be the secretary of next year's student council.
Bonnie Keel is planning on returning to GFSS for grade 13 in the fall.
Bonnie's quite an active student at Garson-Falconbridge Secondary School. She's co-editor of the yearbook, a member of the Students' Council, and also a member of the school.
Brenda Larrabee is planning on attending college.
They sure look happy.
Donna Lubach is planning on working. Michelle McCullough will be returning to Garson for grade 13.
Michelle is treasurer of the yearbook, also a member of the Students' Council this year, and also the school band, I might add.
Quite an active young lady.
Don Milbury is planning on attending Cambrian College.
Dawn is very good in the technical area.
Kathy Murphy is planning to attend Georgian College to become an optician.
Kathy won the Outstanding Contribution Award. She's also the senior girls volleyball team member.
Beth Norman is planning to return to Garson for grade 13.
Beth is quite an active student. She's a central figure on the girls curling team every year, also on the newspaper.
She has been a contributing
Darlene Ross
editor.
is planning to attend college in Thunder Bay.
Darlene Ross will be seen later winning a drafting award tonight. And she's also on athletic council.
And there's something a little special for Darlene. Her father couldn't be here tonight to share her graduation with her, but he sent something along to her in his place.
Quite a surprise to Darlene.
A touching moment. Graduations often bring out emotion.
Cheryl Shute is planning to attend Cambrian College.
Cheryl was this year's secretary of our student council.
Andy Stark is planning on going to Cambrian College for the music program. Heather Sutherland will be returning to finish grade 13. Donna Thompson is planning to attend Mohawk College in physiotherapy.
Donna was also in our public speaking club this year.
Russ Thompson will be attending Harvard to conduct an archaeological expedition of the foundation of...
Russ is one of our most popular students, as you might hear. Pictures are also being shown. He was the Falcon
With a
Choice
major in Gothic
winner.
art and literature. Ron Byancourt will be attending Canada College.
Ron is quite an athlete. He was the most valuable player of the senior boys basketball team this year. Quite an athlete.
I saw his
Dan
basketball
Wicklander
wave.
hopes to become a weatherman.
Dan's a capable student. Does well.
See, he has a very good sense of humor as well.
Yes.
And those are our January graduates.
The following are 97 potential June graduates. They have until the end of June to complete their 27 credits and also join the January graduates in obtaining their secondary school graduation diploma.
You're not crying.
There are far more grade 12 graduates each year than grade 13 graduates.